gas, my whole crew are helpless. I want mine in cash, want it all, I'm selfish. Never gave a fuck, I'm bad, I cannot help this. Caught up in my ways, counting days till I'm fucking out this. Whoa, roll up 20 deep, little homie, belt to snap. Like whoa, put 100 down and put us on the map. Like whoa, y'all ain't even know the place I had to go. In my soul, lost a part of me, but I won't lose control. Gas, my whole crew are helpless. I want mine in cash, want it all, I'm selfish. Never gave a fuck, I'm bad, I cannot help this. Caught up in my ways, counting days till I'm fucking out this. Whoa, roll up 20 deep, little homie, belt to snap. Like whoa, put 100 down and put us on the map. Like whoa, y'all ain't even know the place I had to go. In my soul, lost a part of me, but I won't lose control.
Hello, you all. Here we are. Please be welcome to our Gamer Nation, the gaming podcast, revealing the life stories of the most talented voices we have all over the globe. I am very happy to be here. As you all know, I am LaneX, and let's go for another episode, this time with our first Asian guest, our fantastic caster from the Philippines, Cali. How you doing, man? What's up?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's finally it's great to be able to share the table with you, LaneX. I've always watched you on streams, especially in LATAM. The LATAM region. You're always there supporting the community, right? Yeah, I feel great to be here, share my thoughts, opinions about the games generally, and to be able to reach such audience. It's great to be here.
Awesome, man. Thanks, first of all, for accepting the invitation and for, creating this time slot in your very busy agenda, as we know. So thank you so much for staying with us, for being here. And it's going to be awesome to talk to you about all those things. I think our life journeys, our gaming journeys. And I want to, first of all, say hi to your family, right? Your dad and mom, everyone is in here with us in the chat. So hi, guys. And thank you all for being here. And also my Brazilian fans. So everyone from Brazil, thank you so much for being here. This is an English-based podcast. So I hope you guys can understand a bit of what we're talking here. So hit the like button, follow our channels. Remember you all that we are live on LaneX YouTube channel and also on Gamer Nation YouTube channel. So Cali, you are a fantastic caster. I wanna again say thanks for you to being here, man, and it's gonna be awesome to talk about a lot of things. And to begin with, how did you land into the gaming world? How did you begin working with games? But before that, were you like a very intense game player as I was, for example, when I was younger?
For me, I started gaming when I was about grade 2. So around 7 or 8 years old. I used to play a lot of GTA games back in the PlayStation Portable. If you guys know that, that's the PSP. Yeah, basically more on single players. I love creating chaos basically for the games that I play. Then, I stumbled upon Call of Duty when I had an Xbox 360 that was gifted by my uncle in Dubai. And I played tons of Call of Duty. Then came around 13 to 16-year-old. I focused much on sports. I did not really have a chance to play games. Every day is just ball is life for me. Then pandemic hits. That's where things kind of dialed down, right? Everything just kind of fell apart. I had to stay at home. No one's allowed to go out. Then Call of Duty came out, right? And I decided to try it out and see for myself what does this game provide me, right? What can I do with it? Yeah, I played so much of it, I got addicted to it. I decided to host a tournament. Then it went like a snowball, right? I started casting so many events until we're here. It's crazy. It was crazy.
What was the first game you casted then? Was like an FPS as well, or like any other genre?
It's actually Call of Duty Mobile. I wanted to test the Philippine scene since there's so many tournaments going around. I said to myself, why not try to host such a destroy tournament? Just 16 teams, and we go live for the top 4. And that was my first. Believe it or not, I was sweating so bad casting my first event.
I imagine.
But yeah, we pulled through. We pulled through.
I know. I understand you. Yes, like the first tournaments I did were like online, so I think I was nervous as well, but like I no one could see because it was online. But then when I landed into my first LAN event, I was very nervous. But then after that it felt natural. So that's why I know I maybe I am done for this. I want to say just hi to Buddy Gang. He's on our chat on Gamer Nation channel. Alexis Salcedo as well. Ace Gamers Sports are with us in my YouTube channel. So thank you all for being here with us today. We are having Cali. And Cali, tell me, you said, okay, you loved gaming, you loved going into this world, but like, What did you do for college? I don't know. Did you attend to college, and how did gaming changed your path on that matter?
Yeah, I study computer science, and
Awesome.
it's super different, right? It's super different to gaming in general. Mostly, or going in for those algorithms, right? And gaming is like an escape for me, especially if things are going rough. When you got that bad score, you really need something to distract yourself, right? And Codmobile was that. Gaming entirely was that. And yeah, definitely a great way to exercise my brain in terms of controlling chaos in the games I play, and just creating these stories inside my mind, and what could go wrong here, what can I do to make things better, and all those sort, man.
Nice. So it has been for you all about the narratives and the storytelling behind the games and
Yeah.
the gameplay themselves. That's very interesting because in the end, I think we are all like as a casters, we are storytellers. I talked about it on the last podcast, on the last episode we had with Gilmania, the Latin caster, and he agreed with that. Like we are always like telling things in multiple ways. We are always finding new forms of expressing ourselves. So that's just great. And Cali, tell me, you have been in this road, especially specifically with Codem since 2020, I believe. You have been casting the World Championship so far in all of the years that we had so far. And man, tell me, what did you most love about casting Worlds? How did it change over time? What was your perspective? It's very nice to hear from an Asian caster as well.
Oh, definitely the first time I casted the World Champs was in 2021, actually, and it was a sub stream for Garena, and it was my first time working a real shoutcasting gig at a mainstream event, and it was definitely tough since I had not trained for more than 12 hours of casting. But it's great because the story behind the World Championship, it is super easy because you got all of the best teams around the world.
Yeah.
And you just have to create these stories that these are the best teams, and this is what they're capable of, this is their personality, and being able to really watch these teams playing at a high level compared to their regional tournaments is super different in terms of their pacing and the amount of the mental capacity in their their intellect when it comes to playing hard points, their S&Ds, and
Yeah.
their formerly dominations now also control.
Makes sense. Yes, all the mental charge that they have to deal with being on stage or like just facing audience, facing fans, and facing all the level of productions we usually have. And you're right. I mean, not only that, but what brought them there. So all the road they had to go on to reach a higher level. So it's a lot always on the plate. And yes, I love when you say like creating the stories, because it gets me to how we design the villains, how we design the heroes, and all that plays a very important role, which takes us to my next question to you, which is related to Stage 5 last year. I think we've had the most interesting storytelling of all times when it comes to covering official events on Codem, at least, because we've had Asia, we've had East dominating the field and dominating the stage, and with of course Wolves from China being the champions and Godlike from India being the vice champions or the runners up. So I want to hear from you, how did it feel to cover Asian teams and seeing them succeed so much against West teams?
Yeah, looking at, if we go way back before last year's World Championship, the 2022 World Champs was heavily run by the Western teams, right? Teams like Tribe Gaming was able to have like an amazing run at the lower bracket when they were eliminated at the upper bracket, right? And they became the champions, the first LAN champions in the CODM history. And everybody was really congratulating Tribe till they made that comment right after that coronation. So I think that was such a great wake-up call when this statement from Vague was made. It definitely propelled the Eastern teams to do better and be more consistent when it comes to playing their hard points and all of the game modes, basically. And then when we came into the Worlds last year, we thought again that it is going to be a Luminosity Gaming steamroll, knowing that they got the best talents from Luminosity and Tribe Gaming combined into one team. Everybody, also me, expected that they are the ones that will come up on top due to their talent and the coach that's behind that team. Basically, they're an Avenger squad, right? But when we came into the playoffs, there was only 6 teams. There were 6 teams from the Eastern region and 2 from the North American side. And for sure, we expected Luminosity to be part of that grand finals. But when we saw Godlike take away that top 2 by taking that victory up against Luminosity Gaming, obviously, I was in awe. I was in shock because I did not expect, an upset happen like that. It was super crucial, not just for the Asian region, but as well as for the Indian teams, because I believe that was the highest placement that a mobile team has done in the mobile division for India. So it was definitely great. It felt good actually to take home the championship for the Eastern region, but I mean, Garena did not win it, so I did not have fun, man.
Yeah, I imagine the amount of fun you had and like how special it was. We have always to remember that Indian teams, they came from the last position or almost the last positions on 2022 to being the top 2 last year. So it has been a fantastic uprisal. And yeah, the best offset we ever seen, like in mobile sports, maybe. The best stories were made. We had, as I like to say, Bobby Plays stating that we've had actually in this stage 5 2 world champions. We had the official world champions on Wolves, and we had the folks champions, let's say, on Godlike. So that was very, very nice. And man, what else can you tell us about how you felt about being again on an event, like especially now with ESL? How did it change for you and for your career to be able to work at such a level and to be, of course, invited for such an important stage?
It's always a pleasure to be working with ESL. I've been eyeing for an opportunity to be part of their team, and having the pleasure to cast the C stream of the 2023 World Champs along with Pami was such a great eye opener for me. That hey, working with different people, working with people obviously around the other side of the globe is kind of pretty overwhelming for me at the start, but it definitely is giving me that experience to be able to do better and mature, obviously, as a caster, because all of this, local regions, it is there, right? But what you really want is to be a part of something bigger, and with me being able to land an opportunity to cast at ESL World Champs last year was definitely a great experience.
And tell me about the language. I want to know about it because you're also a caster who does not come from a native environment when it comes to speaking English, and that's my case as well. So did you learn English just to cast like Eumenia did, for example, or did you literally have you already had a contact with English before the casting?
I used to live in Dubai, UAE, but I was not that fluent when it comes to speaking English. I can only do 2 words, 3 words, 4 words. I can do a little bit of Arabic, but Tagalog, my native language, is still stronger, and it's the most practiced in our household. And when I started casting in Tagalog. Then I saw a stream, an esports stream with AJ in it, and I say, why not try to cast in English? I may not be good at it off the start, but if I can work on it, I can really hone my English speaking skills. I still believe my English skills are not yet up to par compared to the other, compared to the native casters that we got in the esports scene, right? So what I always do before I hop into a cast is that I type in, believe it or not, it is such a tedious work. I search Call of Duty League. I browse a game where Maven and Merc is casting, okay? Those two are my favorite COD League casters. And yeah, I typed down word to word what they say in a document in
are they?
Google Docs. Yeah, word to word. So like
I know
for
who are-
Hardpoint, for S&D.
You
Huh?
just mentioned your favorite casters. I just didn't hear
Yeah.
their names. Who are they?
Oh, it was Maven and Merc.
Oh, yeah, awesome. I know the work,
those
yeah.
two.
Good.
Yeah, they're very amazing casters. Been around the COD League for so long,
That's
right? Very
true, yeah.
experienced veterans.
They are.
Yeah, so I typed all of the words that they say in a document. Then, as soon as I complete at least 3 maps, Hardpoint, S&D, and Control, I read everything. See the structure. How do they cast it? And then I realized they really use strong verbs. And yeah, it's just all about expanding the vocabulary to be able to have, so many ways to talk about a scenario. For example, taking down a player. Yeah, you can talk about it in multiple ways. Be creative with it, in short.
That's great because it really matches what also Gilmania said, what I believe too. It's what I've been doing in my native language, Portuguese. I think all of us, we try to express ourselves in multiple ways, and it has been the case on esports, surely. It's a necessity when you need to express yourself in a very interesting way to the audiences so that you don't get bored as well, or you don't bore, especially folks. But let's move to a question that Ace Gamers brought a bit before earlier. They said, what would you do differently if you were to start all over again? Is there anything you would change in this path, Cali?
I'm not gonna change anything because I really aim to be a professional caster, and this goes to almost every career. If you're trying to become great at something, you have to work on it like a true professional. You have to schedule sessions for you to study how do you cast the game, how do you prepare, get those stats, get those statistics, get those narratives done, and in the long run, it will pay out. Just do something until you get good at it, basically.
That's so cool. So it's about practice and persistency. I want to know,
Yeah.
on the top of casting, have you ever been a streamer as well? Have you streamed the game playing? How do you do that?
Yeah, I have tried. I have tried streaming Codmobile before, but I am not that good. I have to admit, I am
horrible
not
too.
that
Don't worry.
good. Yeah, I am not that good.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine, man. I have been trying to cast to gameplay live. It doesn't go well. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, so we gotta do what we gotta do. So I don't have the ability to play. I'm gonna cast. To me, that was the very clear
Yeah.
line I had in the back of my mind some years ago. But anyways, but when it comes to casting, then what is the funniest part? Would you say of this job? How much do you enjoy casting and having fun with friends on a studio or online?
It's finding ways to connect with them, right? Sometimes there are hidden jokes around the meanings that they say, and be tagging along with it, just going to connect your words into something that was initially said. I believe is the most fun thing to do for me, exactly when I work with AJ, right? AJ is so much fun. But of course, you can see on screen that's also Warden, right? Warden has been my partner for we started casting 6 months straight, non-stop. We obviously did it so much, and up until to the point where being able to hone the English skill for me, I think is the most fun that I've had, because for every broadcast that I do, I know that for sure that there is that progress that I'm doing, that experience that I'm getting every time I, showcase myself with my partner.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's a lot of stimulation, right? We have to look at the game, we have to hear the director in the point. So how do you manage to do it all? Do you like to be under pressure? Because this is something I love to be on. I love the pressure of the spotlights. I love to be on air. How do you feel? Do you feel calm when it begins, or do you feel anxious? How does it go for you?
I usually just want to have fun, right?
Uh-huh.
Once you're on camera,
Yeah.
just showcase that personality and just show what you're truly capable of, right? I feel like the practice I do outside of the on-air stream that we do when it comes to the broadcast actually does pay off for me. So I really stay calm when the broadcast kicks in.
That's awesome. That's good to know. Yeah. So practicing brings a certain amount of like calmness and like relaxation to know that you're gonna do well. That is great. I want to once again like say thank you for everyone who's with us right now. So send your questions, okay? I don't want to have anyone shy in this chat, so please just write down your questions. Ask Cali whatever you want. He's gonna ask. He's gonna reply to us it all. Cali, tell me. If you had, this is a very important question of the show. I was precisely designing this one to hear from you because I also heard of it from Gilmania. So tell me, if you had to offer a full definition, man, a complete definition of casting to someone you just met on the streets, what would you say? What does it mean to you, casting?
Casting for me is an art of spontaneous talking, because everything that you do will always be chaotic, right? In every game that you cast, there's always going to be different variables. So, just finding the way for you to connect into like a beginner, keeping it short and just explaining it easy is, I think, one way for you to be able to give. I forgot the term. It's easy. It will make it easier for you if you explain it to a beginner in a very simple way, like a layman's term, right? You try to connect. Oh my god, I forgot. Man, I forgot. Can you repeat the question again? Oh my god, this is how podcasts work.
So
Man, it's so different.
It's all good.
Okay,
I mean,
can you repeat?
It's also a live show, so we're having fun here. This is
Yeah.
just a live conversation. So I just wanted to get from you, how would you define casting? I'm asking this because this is a project I have on the side. I'm also writing a book about casting.
Oh.
Actually, my idea is not precisely to define casting on the book, but it's like sharing the expertise I've had so far, this specific knowledge that we get on the way. So I wanted to have your take, your pick on this. But you did it very well. I mean, you said it's a magic work. It's also a work, but it's a magical activity that we do, like trying to combine all the things we see on the screen. So about casting and also on casting, now talking about people, what were I would say the funniest people you have been around with? I mean, have you casted with like international casters, or have you been just more of a Garena Asian caster?
I mostly work around the Southeast Asia region. And I think the most fun I had was back in Garena Masters Season 3, back when there was a Codmobile LAN event here. The first Codmobile LAN in Garena back then. Yeah, Coach Jericho, by the way. It's very fun to be with.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was so chaotic that sometimes I cannot predict what he'll do next time. But being able to be surrounded with the same talents that you've been working with all throughout the months and events that you've had, it's definitely very great experience in terms of not just connecting with them at a work level, but also work on that interpersonal relationship. And I guess just being face to face is a lot better than on camera.
It's so much
online.
better. And that takes us to the next question made by Ace Gamers. That's a very interesting question. Single casting or co-casting, which one gives you the freedom and the joy? I want to know from you because each caster has an opinion, a different opinion on this.
Oh, I started solo casting, by the way, guys. I've casted for 2 years. Only did single cast, a solo cast. And anyway, it is very strenuous for me because I sometimes do 8 to 12-hour live streams just to cast tournaments. And yeah, sometimes you don't get so much quality. Yes, you can say lots of words, but the amount of depth to it is not that much. So I believe co-casting is the better way to be able to tell stories, because You can pass it to the other person. He tells his side of his story. Then you try to connect that into another point that you're gonna make, and overall, it's going to become a very cohesive one that makes it very effective for you, not just in creating the overall narrative of a game, but also connecting it to the viewers and telling everybody what's at stake at this game and interesting facts. It does definitely give you time to think.
Yeah, I tend to agree. You just nailed it. Like, usually the solo casting, it's a more sad way of working, and also, but I would say it would work like on smaller matches, just only and if you have a nice chat, if you have a very flowy chat with you, you can do eventually solo casting, and you can talk a lot to people. But like as you said, in longer casting, in longer matches runs, we need someone else. We need also that other perspective, because then we're gonna have a lot happening. You want to compare your views, as you said. So I tend to agree 100% with Mr. Cali Gaming. Cali, other question brought by Ace Gamers was, have you thought about trying casting Africa or finding out what talents they have? That's a very interesting one.
I actually wanted to have an opportunity to cast Mobile Mayhem Africa before, because no one's doing it, right? I think it was only Pabs that was doing it for that region. I wanted to give him a partner, and I was willing to do it, but I did not really had a chance to go back to it. I forgot about it, but I definitely want to try casting Africa sometime soon, because I know that that region definitely has the talent there, LaneX, and I guess in the future I might be able to venture on it. If you guys have any tournaments, just let me know. Get on my DMs. Just hit me on my DMs. I'll be casting you guys for free. I'll do it for free. Just let me know.
This is the best businessman I've brought to this podcast. Open to business, ladies and gentlemen. So just message him on DM. He's ready for that. Kali, now talking about other regions, I want to know this from you. What is the most interesting thing you have about like LATAM teams and championships? Do you like LATAM teams and players? Are you going to Brazil in April to be at ESL Mobile Masters? Maybe it's a hard question, but hey, tell us about LATAM and Brazil. Do you love Brazil and LATAM? I want to know that too.
Man, I love LATAM. I love the LATAM teams. I think they're the next most competitive region outside of China and the Eastern teams. Because they put so much time, they put so much study in the way they do, and I will say this, right? This can the perspective can be different, but the 2023 World Champs is a huge asterisk on the LATAM teams, because there were so many visa issues, by the way.
Yes.
And definitely was not the best way for those teams to play at the world stage, with their players subbing out because of those visa issues. And not to mention TLE, there were so many roster changes heading into stage 5. And I believe the Masters that we're going to have in Sao Paulo, Brazil, is going to give us a great gauge, especially with Galori's Lucas in it there.
Yes.
It's going to be great. I think it's redemption. If you're going to look into the narrative of the LATAM teams, it's all about redemption in Sao Paulo, Brazil. They got a chance to defend their home turf, and I believe they got the strongest chance at doing so, with 2 slots in there, and Galores being part of that, which created a monstrous super team.
You're absolutely right. I mean, especially looking also at the World Stage 5, they are in the redemption arch. They need to get back on top, because we have to remember actually that Inco Gaming and Skate, these organizations are not anymore in Codiem, but they represented LATAM and Brazil on the top level of when it was on the stage 5 of 2022. They were the top 3 and top 5 teams. But then they descended on the last stage 5, Kali. So you're absolutely right. They need to come back on top, and especially in Brazil. So they're gonna try to defend themselves into their mainland. I wanna give a shout to my wife. My dear wife is on my chat, co-leader, and she also used the BR, the Brazilian abbreviation. I love this. Very nice, very cool. And as you said, galleries now having Lucas in there are gonna be absolutely destroying in this event. They're gonna be ready for the foreigners, for the other teams which are coming to Brazil. Cali, let me ask you, aside from CodeM, now I want to know about your projects. What are you up to? Are you like currently working on something for yourself for this year?
I'm looking to go back into sports. I've been working out lately, trying to get back in basketball form. I used to be an athlete before my shoutcasting days right now, right? So I definitely did not take care of myself when I got a lot of jobs, a lot of gigs. Right, I had the money, but I had no time trying to get the better out of myself. So I've been trying to focus more on that. But I've been looking into doing data statistics for teams. Still, by the way, I always love the data. I love to see trends, how the teams are performing, and being able to predict what kind of maps are they going to be playing, especially on a tournament, is like one of my greatest hobbies, by the way. I love to predict a lot of stuffs. Maybe I can be a great magician. I don't know.
Cool, but okay, betting and magician, interesting, and basketball, like interesting ways of distracting. Do you see yourself doing something professionally out of esports in CodeM? This is something that just popped in my mind. How do you see yourself on there?
I want to be a professional in a basketball. If not as a professional player, maybe as a skills and conditioning coach. I've been
nice.
grinding so
Yeah.
much of those, a lot of those drills. It's just like how you handle a CODM team, right? You give them drills, you give them those mappings, their rotations and all those sort, and yeah, it's just great because at least I know for myself that I am learning every day and I can do it consistently.
Cool, nice. Now I'm gonna bring to us to the screen another set of images and videos of Cali on action, working with partners. There we go, man. Farlight, you've casted Farlight as well, right? Cool.
Yeah, I've been casting Fallout 84 for 3 seasons now. I must say, it's definitely so fast-paced, and I love working with the amazing people there. Very talented and very experienced. So being able to be surrounded by very great casters helped me grow so much and got a lot of tips. And being able to work with this guy, Autolux, I like this guy. Yeah, one of the greatest mentors I've had in a while.
Oh,
helped
yeah?
me grow
Cool.
in terms of casting on air, on screen, because we did not get a lot of that in Garena. So being able to have a coach or like a mentor giving you those tips on how to behave when you're on camera is something that I really cherished because I looked so awkward back when I was in Green Master Season 3.
Come on, man. You're looking very, very nice. Like, this was the beginning, right? Black and Blue.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So your first partner back in 2020. That's very cool because back then I also had a bunch of people I have already worked with back in the day, but then we transitioned into CodeM. But I wanna just bring this memory that Cali, I was, let's say, the community caster back then in 2020. I was the crazy one leaving off CodeM, trying to do that when the words came, and then all the other 3 casters, they were not originally from CodeM, but they just joined me, and yeah, we did a good job. I actually casted with a Dota 2 caster. Can you believe it? Aedrons is a Brazilian caster. He was on that opportunity on the World Championship 2020. So he was, let's say, the play-by-play caster because he was not from the game, and I would be the color commentator, let's say, because I would know everything about the game. So it was a very nice combination of energies, and we have been down this road for so long. Cali, speaking of being for so long in CodeM and on the mobile realm, like, what else would you love to see happening on the CodeM competitive scene? And I'm asking you this because, as we know, ESL have brought the game to another level. They are doing a fantastic job. But like, what else can we see happening? What else can we expect for the international scene this year?
And it's just all about, providing a platform for every region to play at the highest level. And ESL was able to provide that with the mobile masters that we are going to be having in Sao Paulo the next month, I believe, right? And keeping these players consistent with tons of tournaments allows them not just to improve, but gain so much tractions in their said regions. And I just hope that we still get our roadmap for 2024 to 2025 because I'm looking forward to that World Championship that might just happen later on this year, LaneX.
Yeah. Let's see the roadmap coming out. We know that we're gonna have this same structure we had last year along this year as well. So that's very comforting. We can all prepare ourselves. We can get ready for more action coming up next. So it's gonna be awesome, Cali. I have high expectations, especially now that we have been seeing like a more frequent rotation, right, when it comes to the cities. So we're seeing right now, we're gonna see Latam, São Paulo, Brazil, hosting this next ESL stage event. But again, I want to see Asia as well. Do you see any Asian city hosting events soon? Because as we know, Wolves are the current world champions. I mean, Asia is dominating still the stage, so maybe it's time for Asia, right?
I feel like China could host the world champs. Yeah, I think they got the money and the production to do that as well. And ESL can just tap in, to the production of China and just work around as a team and provide us the best Codem World Champs ever. I'm saying this right because every year we get to see the World Champs get better and better. 2021 it was Eastern and West. 2022 was our first LAN event.
Yeah.
2023, definitely the story was there to back it up. And, I think 2024, we need to see it in Asia. Hopefully, they could consider it. If not in China, maybe in the Philippines. I would love to see you guys over here.
Yeah.
And also, it is the region that has, for me, has the most amount of LAN attendees. If you guys take a look at Green Master Season 3, the finals, everybody was standing because there were no more chairs. There were not enough chairs. The maximum capacity has been reached, and everybody else forced to step up. And I believe we can really pack in, the crowd and the intensity for our world champs. But only time will tell, man.
Yeah, I agree. Like I would say Asia, Asian events, and also Latin events and Brazilian events. They usually are very successful when it comes to audiences. And okay, we can always brag for that, Cali, especially when we remember the audience on the 2022 stage 5. It was okay, but it was like, all right, like you guys used the chairs well. We had the seats occupied, but like, come on, it's nothing compared to Asia or Brazil. So we're gonna have a taste of this year. So it's gonna be a very exciting year so far. And I want to know from you, like, back to casting, two small things that I have in mind to ask you. I need to know this from you as a very talented caster that you are. If you had to give like an advice to any rookie or beginner caster these days, what would you say in this case?
You just have to think the bigger picture, right? It's not about what's happening right now. It's about that long term. And the best tip I can give is provide yourself a roadmap, right? Let's say this quarter you get yourself to start by casting 1 or 2 events, and come that Q4 of 2024, you get yourself an amazing event, right? I mean, it's just all about providing yourself a tracker, and providing you that is gonna give you, a line, a goal that will keep you in track in casting, because sometimes you get off track and the next thing you know, you're not doing it consistently anymore, right? So having a tracker, a roadmap, definitely will help you get yourself an opportunity to keep things consistent. And second best tip for me, I mean, you just have to be a sponge, right? A sponge can soak in so much knowledge, and just try to learn every day. Never stop learning every day. You have to grow, not just as a caster, but also in life, right? So getting all of the knowledge as much as you can from your co-casters, or approaching, very experienced casters is definitely gonna help when it comes to giving you a great visual on what's happening at the industry. And yeah, I think that's the only 2 things that I think that will definitely help, beginner casters start up and become the next best caster in the world of mobile or in esports.
Yeah, I would add to everything you said, being a sponge and like training a lot and watching and training, but also having the drive, having that passion.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have the passion, you're just gonna be, stopping over the way. I'm saying this because not in a bad way, but I have seen many fellow casters or beginner casters not moving along because maybe that was not their thing. They just discovered that they didn't want to keep doing it, and I mean they just gave up. Again, so the passion, right, is gonna be your fuel to go further and to wanting to be in higher places. I think that's what most strikes me when I look also at my experience. And it's been like more than 10 years doing this, so I can say one thing or two. But man, very nice. Ace Gamers, they have just poked us on the chat saying that they cannot find your Instagram account. So please, Cali, help them. What is your Instagram?
Okay, it's here on screen. It's Cali, but if not for the gram, you can check me on Twitter. I am usually more active in Twitter. It's Cali, but with one less Z. So there's only 2 Z's in Twitter. But if you really want my Instagram, it is going to be 3 Z's. What we have here.
This is the Instagram,
Yeah.
right? I brought your Instagram profile
this
tag.
one.
Yeah. Awesome. And then the Twitter is gonna be one less Z. That's right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Ace Gamers, for staying with us and for using so much the chat. Yes, they said, seems I'm fill up this chat. Bring it on. Bring everyone.
Yeah.
Bring the folks on, and it's gonna be as fun as it has been already so far with Mr. Cali Gaming. Cali, to walk us into a more final part of our conversation here, which has been fantastic. Tell me, what do you love about the gaming community? Like, what are the top things you love about being engaging with folks and being engaging with audiences all over in socials and streams?
Well, being able to engage with the community, it is definitely, an awesome experience, especially when you're trying to play at a very high level. I am usually looking into more of the competitive players out there and being able to stay in touch with them. You really get the best out of yourself. You can queue up as fast as you can, and honestly, the gaming community for Codmobile, it is not that big compared to other game titles, so you can really connect with people around the globe. And this is how you and me share the same thing, right? I mean, Codmobile connected us together, and same thing can be said with the other talented casters that are around the world. And I think gaming definitely is a great platform for us to stay in touch, not just in our regions, but in the entire global scene that we got running for Codmobile.
That is right. This level of connection is awesome, and also like it's about people, right? So it's always about people. It's 2 people. So I'd say we get ready, we deliver. But like we want to be in touch, we want to connect in socials, in streams. That is the main goal. Speaking of which, I want to invite you, Cali. I want to cast with you one day. I want us to cast a match. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna find the next opportunity I have to make this happen. I want to bring all my guests here from my podcast to cast with me. We're gonna cast together eventually. I would love that. That would be another level of connection. And Cali, tell me about casting yet. What else you plan to cast, like after CodeM, or I don't know, on the side of CodeM? What other sports strike you as interesting for that?
I'm looking forward to the release of Horizon Mobile,
Awesome.
as well as Valorant Mobile. Those are the bigger, games that are going to be out possibly in 2024 for Warzone. Already, the launch is coming this month, right? But also looking forward to seeing Valorant Mobile, put their game into the mobile scene. But I'm also looking forward to casting sports. I'd love to be part of commentary team in basketball, maybe locally, and it is something that I have been planning for ever since, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah. Casting more and casting others sports will be awesome. It's awesome. Always, it's something that also is a goal that I have. Expanding the sports that we are on, because in the end of the day, right, Cali, I think you're gonna agree with me on that. Like, it's always about the passion. It's always about creating narratives and like being on there and feeling the adrenaline of the players and of the teams and fans. So yeah, very nice to hear from you on that as well. Cool, nice. We have a bunch of people coming always to our chat. I love your presence, so thank you for staying with us. MK Scotty, we have Clayson, we have Ace Gamers asking for casting on Africa tournaments. Let's do that. I want to cast African teams as well, and why not Middle East teams? I'm open for that. Yes. Cali, I want to appreciate I appreciate your presence. I want to, thank you so much for being here with us. It was a very nice conversation. I want to say that Gamer Nation intends to be a gaming space, for gamers. Our gaming community is fantastic because, we can meet people all over the world. We can use internet for that, precisely what we're doing right now. So it's very good to be connecting with other voices. So with that said, I want to thank you so much for your presence. I want to desire you all the best. I want to say that you are a very, very, very talented caster that I admire as well. And I want to have the chance of, meeting you in person one day. Why not?
I hope, man. I hope I get to meet you and everybody else. I want to meet you and Jigjo, the face of the LATAM region. I always watch you guys every time there's a tournament in Mobile Mayhem or in ESL LATAM. And I feel like, we're going to be getting along pretty well. And I just hope that someday we'll be able to meet. I am manifesting it starting from now.
Yeah. Yes, I'll manifest it too. That's going to happen. I want to be, in person with you. I want to have this conversation again, but live, in person somewhere, having nice food and hearing some live music. How about that? Would be awesome, right, Cali?
Yeah. That's the real G, man. I want that to happen.
Thank you so much, Cali. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice rest. And thank you all for being with us. Please follow us on socials. It's Gamer Nation GGWP, which means good game, well played, as we know in English. So thank you so much for staying with us. See you on the next episode. Cali, bye-bye, man.
Thank you so much, dude.
Did you like it?
on the gas.